Hi everybody, this is John with the Simplest Biz. Just want to take a few minutes and go over the topic of who your competition is and kind of explain that for you so you understand what the Simplest Biz model is about and what to expect. It's a fortunate thing what's going on in this particular niche. It's very underserved. There's not a lot of professionalism in this niche. And the buyers and suppliers that we deal with are a lot of times have been burned in the past where they need somebody they can actually trust and count on for this particular business model. And number two, they're being underserved in a way where they're not getting the consultation they need. They're not dealing with a dependable individual, or they're getting raped on the price as far as dealing with a pallet yard or the individuals out there. Since this is a really under the radar niche, the people that actually like me out there, they're not like me, or they wouldn't be like you. They're kind of scary. In fact, the other week here, I'll pull up. Let's see if I can find it real quick. I'm gonna pause for just a second while I get it up. So back in April, I was driving around and I'd seen this guy for over a decade, and he's not making any headway. His truck looks all beat up, and he looks kind of rough himself. So I was gonna kind of give you an idea of who my competition is. And the weird thing is, it's the same thing over and over and over, no matter where you go. These businesses don't want to deal with somebody who can't develop a relationship with them, are not very professional. They don't have really good communication skills. It's the fact of the matter is, this particular niche in general, what's out there are individuals that are looking at short-term money, and they're selling these items that I've exposed you to like a pallet yard, and they're only getting about 1/5 the money that they should be getting because of the problems that arise because of the way they carry themselves and also the way they're running the business model. When we have suppliers out there, to kind of give you a lay of the land here, that a lot of times we'll have a whole variety of stacks and stacks of pallets and probably some other stuff as well, corrugated boxes and dunnage and 55-gallon drums, all at the same place. Well, these individuals, since they're only selling to a pallet yard only deals, majority, 95% of their business is what's called a standard pallet. But if I'm a supplier and I have 5 different varieties and stacks and stacks and stacks of them, and out of 300 pallets, 35 of them are that standard pallet I just mentioned. Well, the individual I just showed you on the phone comes up and they're having to cherry pick out from all those 300 pallets just to get those 35. And what ends up happening is a mess. So let me help you understand. They're not serving that supplier well. Now, if you learn from what I'm teaching you how to move all that different stuff, including the corrugated boxes and all the different styles of pallets as well, and who buys them and where they're going on a constant basis, well, you become exclusive for that supply. Okay? And that's the trick. We want to become exclusive for that supply, and we also want to be able to sell that supply to the buyers that need them at a good price, but saves them money. Now, I also get the question, John, well, there's a pallet yard in my town. Well, there's a pallet yard here. There's several of them. Okay, pallet yards deal in that size pallet. That's standard. It's called a 4840 standard pallet. And that's the majority of the business. And they want businesses that are ordering 800 a week, 1,000 a week. Well, in this model, we don't need that. Now, we can broker some deals and all that, but I don't want to complicate the issue. So if I'm a business owner and I call up a pallet yard, and the pallet yard answers and he says, I need 150 pallets. Well, sir, we have a minimum order of 500 because they got trucks, you see, and they got, expenditures out. They have to have a minimum order to send out. Well, now he's stuck in a rock and hard place. That individual I just showed you earlier, well, his phone's turned off right? Now he's stuck with the pallet yard having to order 500, and it's a medium size business, and he's got, you know, a lot of cash flow going out on top of it. Plus, he didn't have the space for 500 pallets. He didn't want to have that clogging up his floor space. And oh, by the way, Mr. Business Owner, here's our price. Well, pallet yard, think about it. They got trucks to maintain, they got property, they got forklifts, they got, you know, nail guns and employees and salespeople and property and all, you know, all of that combined. They have to charge a premium price for any given pallet that they're selling. Okay, so that's stacked on top of the minimum order. And then, oh, by the way, Mr. Business Owner, there's a $150 delivery charge. So now the price has even gone higher because we got the $150 or $100 delivery charge, whatever they're charging is the normal case on top of it. So we don't have in this business model, us, the people who learn the Simplest Biz, don't have those issues. One, I don't want you doing it if you know, don't have any game, or you don't have the ability to approach a business, have a conversation, develop a relationship, because that's the type of students I want, and that's the type of students I want working for these businesses and helping them out in the correct way. We're going after medium and mid-sized businesses. Those pallet yards, they want the Fortune 500 companies. They can have them, because if we get into that game on an individual basis, then we're going to need a warehouse and, you know, all this other stuff. The repair game comes into play. We don't want to have to repair. We don't have to lift. We don't have to store, okay, with this business model. So our competition is, one, either an individual who's not running the business right, and you don't need a ton of businesses anyway to make this work. So I wanted to throw that out there as well. Or two, it's a pallet business with a pallet yard with a lot of expenditures that have a lot of terms that the businesses that we want to attract don't want to deal with. And that goes for supply as well. So I wanted to cover that and kind of get that out of the way. And it's not just here in Birmingham. I have students all over the place, all over the planet. And these same situations I'm describing in this video now are the same in Australia and in Germany and Canada and California and Texas. It's the same setup because it's such an invisible niche. It's not being served by the people who need to serve it. And I want to help as many of you individuals out there learn this simple business model so you can execute it in the right way. Because like I've said in other videos, you get one chance to make a first impression with these businesses. So walk in there prepared, know your stuff, and be able to consult them in the right way. And it will pay dividends over and over and over again because of the recurring revenue that this generates. All right, hope that covers this topic, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, bye-bye.